Hello. Before we dive into part 2 of this episode, I gotta ask, did you catch part 1? If not, hit pause real quick. You'll want to start from the beginning to get the full effect. The link to part 1 is right down in the description below. Go ahead, catch up, and we'll be right here waiting for you, ready to dive into part 2 when you're all set. It's worth it, I promise.
Was there a moment where you felt like you knew you got it? Like, no matter what's thrown at you, is there a moment that kind of solidified that for you?
I think that moment that I spoke about earlier when the agent was like, whoa, you're awesome. I was like, okay, I solved this problem on my own. I can figure things out. It's not that difficult as long as I'm willing to search for it myself. And after I had the conversation with the owner of the last company, and she was actually the one that planted the seed in my head of nothing stopping you from going off and doing this on your own. And I was like, okay, maybe she's right. And I spoke with my husband about it, and I really didn't want to leave that company. I really didn't want to start my own business. But the more I thought about it, and then I spoke with a couple of the clients, they were like, yeah, Alex, you could do this. We'll help you. Just let us know what you need. And so having that support from others gave me the confidence that I was lacking. I almost did it for them, not for me.
Interesting. I think so much of us, when we're put outside of our comfort zone, is what create our confidence, and it's what you do with that uncomfortableness. So you were uncomfortable, but you figured it out, and then now you'll not be uncomfortable there ever again. So you're like pushing that comfort zone continuously. That creates the confidence of no matter what is thrown at me, I'll figure it out for that person at my own discomfort. And I love, because I say this to Zeke all the time. The one thing that I know is I don't know everything. That there's so much more to learn. That's the one thing I know for sure, is that there's so much more to learn. And that no matter what your coaches say or what your teachers say or whatever, you don't know everything. You have to listen to the world around you because you do not know everything.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think there is not a weakness with not knowing things. The weakness in that is if you're unwilling to learn. Just because you don't know doesn't mean you can't succeed. You have to be willing to figure it out, to find that way. And I'm lucky because I've grown up that way. My mom passed away when I was 9. So my dad raised my sister and brother and I, and he worked all the time. So it was the three of us figuring things out on our own. And it was that I'm not going to just sit here and wait for dad to come home or for someone to come figure out how can I get my first job. Or I made my grandma drive me to a credit union so I could open up a checking account so I could get my first cell phone in middle school, and just things like that. But I know that you've spoke about in other episodes, when will we be satisfied? When will I be satisfied? And I've been reflecting on that a lot because I feel that really resonated with me. And I don't know. I don't know that I ever will. And I think that's okay, as long as you appreciate what you have, but you're willing to work for more.
Ooh, I'm in therapy about this right now and how tied it is to my business, like how my idea of success and some kind of contribution to the world is so tied within my work. And at some point, Alex, I'm going to retire. I don't know what that's going to look like, but at some point, I'm going to retire. And what will my existence be, and how will I affirm who I am outside of this work that I'm so passionate about and have been incredibly successful with? So for me, even if life is hard, sometimes I'm like, I'm successful here, so it's fine. Like, it's gotten me through, kind of thing. So as my husband approaches his retirement time and what does our retirement look like, I've been doing a lot of thoughtful thinking about what is enough and what does it look like outside of this thing that I've created that I absolutely 100% love and has become such an integral part of who I am.
Yeah, but from a different perspective, right? From someone outside looking in, you have built this business to be something that you're passionate about, to be something that you enjoy. And that's what you're supposed to do in retirement. Doing what you love, helping others, being passionate. You don't want to work forever, right? But if you've created this job that doesn't even feel like a job anymore,
it's still a lot of work, and I work way too many hours. I do want to find that balance. And I think especially for women, it's always about this balance of giving to others and doing this thing, but also giving to ourselves and to our families and to all the people that rely on us and love us and give us joy too. But it's this constant conversation that's happening in society and in ourselves and our worth and our value and like contribution. And I know you feel the same way. I want to make an impact on this world. I want to leave a positive thing. I feel like God has given me a gift, and it is my job to do what I can to amplify that and give that to as many people as possible to fully fulfill my purpose in this life. And I feel this immense promise of that because he has given me so much. So it is this deep driver. The biggest thing is he says he loves you just as you are. You don't have to be anything other than you, but also this immense, maybe self-imposed pressure to do as much as I possibly can with the time that I have and the resources that I have and the abilities that I have. So there's this constant kind of conversation coming all around me of all the things that we're supposed to do.
You said God loves us just as we are, right?
Yeah.
He also told us to go out into the world.
Yeah.
Why would he give you this gift to just close it off and shut it out from anybody else? And you and I have had many discussions about religion and spirituality. And so I'm right there with you on let's get out there and share our gifts with other people and empower them to use their gifts.
That's exactly it. Empower them to fulfill more of their purpose. And then when they do that, they're helping influence other people to fulfill their purpose. Like it's this wonderful ripple effect into a business owner, their team, the community they live in, the world we live in. It can be magnified in such a beautiful, lovely way. And I personally think it's very challenging right now. We hear a lot of negative news. So the more positivity that we personally can create, it helps us still live in the positive, loving things that are possible right now. So to me, it's like my saving grace because like I can hold on to that life raft of things are good right here because I know it because we're experiencing it and it's happening. And I just have to remember that there's still this good thing despite some of the very scary things that I've been seeing. Maybe it's my sense of control. Maybe it's my only child. I want to control the things that I can control, but it's also to contribute in that way. Yeah, it's a very powerful pull, though.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's not just in the clients, it's in the team, like we talked about. I want to make sure my team is mentored and it can be fulfilled and have a life that they deserve and that they can create purpose for themselves. And it's so much bigger than me. And I get a little emotional when I think about how much bigger it is than me and how all the things in my life have led up to this. This is the culmination. He had me have all these other experiences or all these other things that I've had happen to get me to here, to be the person who's going to do these things. We went down this like religious spiritual road, which I very rarely do on the podcast, but it is something that is part of many people, whatever religion you are, whatever you believe in your world, it can drive you in so many ways. I want to talk a little about marketing. Can we talk about marketing? So what has been the hardest thing about marketing for you and for your business?
You talk a lot about how marketing needs to be consistent and persistent. And that is where I struggle, right? I get like supercharged on, yes, I'm going to post every day. And then I never post again. Or, yeah, I got this great new website. I'm so happy about it. Let me get all these ideas down. And then I never do anything with it. Marketing just doesn't come naturally to me like some other things might do. So the hardest part is the consistency for me. Right? My best marketing tool is myself. And so going to New Jersey and networking with people and sponsoring events and meeting not just agents, but people within the industry, that's been my biggest tool. But when I'm here, I can't do that. I need to utilize different avenues. And it doesn't have to be social media. I can pick up a phone. I can send an email even. But yeah, I'm not very consistent at either of those. So that's my struggle right now.
It's so hard for so many entrepreneurs. When you do all the things, that's hard to step away from and do the other thing because you're always like, I'll do that later.
Like me personally, like I hate being in front of the spotlight. And that's why I'm a transaction coordinator, right? Like I want to make the agent look good. I want to be behind the computer, behind the phone. And it's funny to me how my best marketing tool is me getting up on a stage saying, here's my business spiel and here's why you need to work with me. But also, I don't want to be here right now.
That's so many people though, Alex. Like 90% of the business owners we work with feel the same way, including myself. I never wanted to step in front of my brand. I wanted my work to speak for itself. I knew how hard we worked. I know the transformations we create, but until you're visible, people can't see you. It's so hard. And when you are consistent and persistent, that's what creates a reputation. That's what creates you being referred a lot more, because people know exactly who you are, who you serve, the transformation you offer. And then when they hear a situation, oh, you need Alex because you have this problem and she is your go-to girl who's going to make it happen for you. But you are not alone. And it's just one step. Just keep trying. And if you're not consistent, it's okay. Just keep trying. Don't give up on yourself and don't beat yourself up over it. And at the end of the day, if you really need consistent help, we are here for you. There are people and tools that can help you be more consistent if that's something that you really want to go down. But I just encourage you to keep trying, keep showing up. I oftentimes say to a lot of my entrepreneur friends, chunk and stack your time and build in time in your calendar so that you have the time to think and to do the things. And so many times people don't do that and it doesn't get done because it's not in the calendar. This is my marketing time. I have to at least do something marketing in this time, whatever that is. I've done that for myself. If I don't chunk and stack it intentionally, my time can run away from me really fast.
How often do we not practice what we preach? I can help an agent get from A to Z in their lives in a transaction. Don't let me do it for myself at home.
So many times we do it for everyone else first before we give any attention to ourselves. That's just in our nature as servant leaders. That's exactly what happens. Has there been a big or even little marketing mistake you've made? And how did it help you grow?
I think the biggest mistake I've made is just the inconsistency on social media. And I think I've missed several opportunities to connect with people through, let's say, Facebook or LinkedIn. A lot of people are looking at those things. A lot of other companies are having their marketing things shared. And I'm sure that I have missed some opportunity because of my inconsistencies.
That's so real, because I think about when YouTube started, we were doing YouTube videos for other people. And some of our clients have millions of views on their YouTube videos because we started them from the very beginning. And we didn't start it. And I think about, oh my gosh, how many people would we have if I'd only done that thing? And even my email list. I'm like, if I had started building my email list 10 years ago, how many people would be on my email list? Those are some big regrets that I have as well. And I'm a marketer, Alex. Yeah. So that tells you, like, it's not always easy and can be very hard to show up when you think you need to and not get distracted by the other things that happen in a business. But all you can do is what you can do now and what feels most authentic, and fully lean into that more.
Lean into the fact of, I left the last company I was with because I didn't feel like there was any room for growth. And who am I to hire these women and then just sit back and be stagnant? What a hypocrite am I? Right. So then I get fired up again, right? Like I said, I never wanted to be a business owner. I've always wanted to do something where I was a leader or organizing things. But telling people what to do, no. But if I can help you, help yourself, I would love to do that for the rest of my life.
I think it's so powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am going to change direction again, and we're going to do a little bit of magic. But before we do that, if you are enjoying this conversation, please hit that subscribe button so you never miss another episode. And if you know someone who needs to hear this conversation today about helping others, about finding your purpose, about making mistakes and it's okay, then send it their way. It might be exactly what they need to help them or spark some big idea for them. So I have the magic hat round. You've listened to several episodes. You know about the magic hat. And this isn't a question we ever prep anybody for. This is the fun one. Okay, first one. What is the area you had to learn the most? Finance, HR, leadership, operations, or marketing?
All of the above. I know very little about a lot of things, and HR for sure. I have agents complaining about some of my employees. How do I reprimand them, or how do I defend them?
Yeah.
How do I run payroll? How do I keep my accounting, marketing, all my struggles there? It's everything. Yeah, operations, I'm still working. I just had a meeting with a woman the other day about I need a better training plan for new employees, and my vision for growth. I really have to have a solid foundation, and I don't know how to get that system in place. So I'm learning every bit of things.
You can never stop learning when you're an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are hungry for that. You can choose a couple of these if you want. A book, a podcast, or a person, an entrepreneur or someone you know, that has made a lasting impact on your own entrepreneurial journey. has inspired you, informed you, given you confidence in some way?
So, two people who have inspired the voice and the feeling I want for my company that I've shared with you is, one would be Saint Mother Teresa of Calcutta. Her saying, people will forget what you said, but they'll never forget how they made you feel. And that's why I'm so much better in person, because I can make you feel like I can help you. You know that I'm your safety net.
Yeah.
But if I just say it on social media, maybe not so much. I'm not going to really make you feel anything there. And then the other one is, I chose the name Rise based off of Maya Angelou's poem, Still I Rise. And it's all just about rising to the occasion and not stooping low because others are low. And let's help each other rise.
Beautiful. What's the hardest no you've ever had to say in business and why?
I'm just terrible at saying no, period. You ask me to help you, you ask me to do something, I'm going to do it. So there's a lot of times when agents ask us to do things that really just don't fall under our scope of work. That's an easy no, although we have to repeat ourselves occasionally. The hardest one is when an agent comes to me with a complaint about an employee and I have to say, no, this is not really their job. I want to empower my employees. I want to make our customers and clients happy, but I'm also not going to let them throw them under the bus for something that really isn't within our scope. We can't contact a buyer or a seller if we don't have that information. We can't send out an email if you don't send us a contract first. We can only work within the parameters that we're given. And sometimes we do such good work that they expect us to go above and beyond every time. And we try for that. But there are times when I've had to come to the defense of my employees of, look, we've never done this before, or we don't do this type of thing, or we didn't have the appropriate information to be able to solve this problem.
How has running your business changed you as a person?
Starting this company, like I said, was not something I intended on doing. And I had a really difficult time accepting that I had left the first company I was with and the clients came with me. And I felt really guilty about that. But I go to therapy. I worked with a business coach, and there is nothing wrong with wanting to succeed. I think I grew up with this thing of everybody who wants to succeed is this money hungry, evil, Cruella de Vil person. And me, when I left that company and I started my own and I knew the owner of the company, he hated me. I was like, I am not this person. I am not this money hungry boss lady. And my coach, I remember, she said, so what if you are? What if you do want what's best for you? What if you do want to make more money? What is wrong with that?
You have to advocate for yourself.
Yeah.
So hard. What's the most WTF thing that has ever happened in your business, good or bad?
Oh, gosh. I have done hundreds and hundreds of transactions with different agents, and I had my most difficult closing 3 weeks ago. It was this old man who has been an agent since the 70s, and the market changes constantly. Compliance changes constantly. And the way deals were done in the 70s, 80s, 90s, even 10 years ago are completely different than how things are done now. And this man was calling me and snail mailing contracts. And he was so upset that I couldn't communicate effectively with him anymore. He was just so unreasonable with the things that he was demanding at the closing table. Sellers don't even go to the closing table. They sign ahead of time, and then the buyers are there and the keys are there and you're good to go. And this man was there. He was the buyer's agent with the buyer at the title company. We're going to hold your commission check and that'll get you to come down here. He had everything he needed. We didn't need to be there, but he was used to things being negotiated at the closing table. It was quite a silly one, and everybody was saying WTF.
What is something in your business that brings you pure joy?
I think my favorite part of running this business is the 3 women that I get to pay every couple weeks. They're home, and without me, they wouldn't have this specific avenue of income and these specific skills and meet these people. So I love being able to help other women stay home and raise their children, but also not feel guilty about getting their nails done or being able to make their car payment that month and just contribute in a way that they wouldn't necessarily have or might not have otherwise.
Agreed. It's such a privilege, right? To be able to be part of
it. It really is. Yeah.
If your brand could have dinner with one iconic brand, who would it be and why?
I guess it would just have to be with someone really big in this specific industry to help me grow to that level. Maybe like Warren Buffett or Gary Keller, just to learn more about the market and techniques that they've used to grow their empire. Personally, that's boring, but professionally for my brand, that would be a good merge.
You survived the magic hat round. You're good. So you do know I have a magic wand as well. And one of its magical powers is time travel. So I'm going to wave it and I'm going to take you back to the day that you graduated from high school. You were not married yet. You had not gone to college yet. What advice would you give young Alex that you wish you knew, that you wasted time not doing the thing or it didn't serve you well?
I held myself back a lot between high school and now because growing up, I had someone in my ear who was constantly telling me, you just think you're better than everybody. All of my successes, I've squished down. And I would have told myself, like, it's okay to try harder. It's okay to do better. It's okay to want better. It's okay to want more. And I've always worked hard, but I've always held myself back just a little bit because I was always so worried that people were going to think I was trying to outdo them or to be something I wasn't, when really I just was following where I was being called.
It was their issue, not yours. It was their issue.
Yeah, I really wish I had just told myself, don't worry about others, continue to love others, continue to care for others, but don't let their insecurities hold you back.
Those mindsets that we get raised with can be so powerful and we have to reframe them and we can spend a lifetime trying to reframe them. If your younger self could see you now, what would they say about where you are?
Whoa, the Army has blessed us and how hard my husband works and the way him and I work together to raise our family. We are blessed beyond the ways I ever thought. I never thought I'd be living in North Carolina in a 2-story house. I never thought we'd have our cars paid off or even own a home. I thought we would be renting forever, and she would be pretty proud of who I am.
So I'm going to wave the wand again, and we're going to go into the future, really far into the future.
Okay.
And I want you to think about at your eulogy or on your deathbed or like the last moments of your life, looking back, what do you want people to remember most about working with you?
When you lose a parent at a young age, you constantly think that this is going to happen to you. My mom died when she was 39. I'm 37. And so, decades, Alex. My point is I think about this all the time. And so I try to live in that way of, if this is the last conversation I have, what are you going to say tomorrow? And I hope that it's that you felt good. This conversation feels like home. Alex feels like home. I like being around her. Yeah. I just want people to feel comfortable and welcomed, like I'm a big hug.
I think it's totally true. People love to be around you, Alex. So at your eulogy, what do you think is going to be your most significant legacy or impact on the world that you're going to leave behind?
My kids. I hope that I have taught them enough to create ripples and affect change in some way or another. They don't have to do something crazy. They don't have to hold up a sign or a protest unless they want to, but something small that can affect change.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It doesn't have to be this like huge thing, but it definitely needs to be something that has impact on the world. Okay, so we're gonna go back to today, to present time. And I would love for you to think, for anyone who's listening or tuning in, and maybe they're on their journey as an entrepreneur, maybe they're beginning, maybe they're just feeling it, like they're burnt out, they're like hit a rough patch, whatever that looks like for the listener. Sometimes it's just hard being an entrepreneur, right? Doing all the things for everybody else and get very overwhelming. It can be extremely rewarding and affirming, but also really hard. So for those that are tuning in today, those small business owners or those aspiring entrepreneurs, what's one tip that you think would help them to build more confidence and to show up more as themselves to run their business?
It's okay to make a mistake and come back and try again. There's a movie quote that's, don't get overwhelmed. Just take one thing at a time. Just do one thing at a time. And even if that one thing messes up, you can always redo it. My dad spent his whole life as a manager wearing suits to work, and in his 60s got his master's in education and became a middle school teacher and still wore his suits and ties every day. But we often think that this path that we choose is the one we have to stay on, and it's not. Mm-hmm. And even if we stray, we can come back. Like you said about marketing, I might not be consistent right now, but try again tomorrow.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Progress over perfection all day long, Alex. And I love that you said that even if the business you have now isn't exactly what you're looking for, how can you make it yours? My coach, and I'm sure your coach does things like this with you too, she makes me make a list of my drainers and my drivers, the things that drive me, that I get excited about. And the drainers are the things that I always procrastinate and don't want to do. And how can I offload those things to the people who actually love to do those things? Yeah. So that they make sure that it happens. And since I've done that, and I've done it really consistently, I'm doing far more of the things that make me happy and far less of the things that suck my soul. But it's one task at a time. It's one thing at a time, and the one awareness at a time to do that.
You might not have the resources right now to get rid of everything that's on your negative list. And that's okay. That's okay, because nothing happens overnight, right? We're going to make this whole list of positives and negatives, and you're going to want to get rid of them, but you have to get rid of them one by one.
Until you make the list, though, the really powerful thing of the list is that you're not even aware of the possibilities of the people or the things that can remove them from your list. So once you make the list, like once I was like, accounting, I got to get it off my list. All of a sudden, I started meeting accountants and exploring that further and what would be a good match for me and trying to understand that. So even that intentionality, that list, creates, I think, serendipity and creates an awareness you never had before to even find the possible solution. And it might not be the solution that you think it's going to be. Mm-hmm. It could be something totally different. But because you're now like on the look for it, you're going to find it far faster and far easier. You have to be intentional about it. This awareness is so different than if you don't have that intentionality and that awareness and just let the business consume you.
Yeah, it's a psychological thing. I know you've read some of Mel Robbins' books. I don't know if you've read The High Five Habit.
I've heard a lot about it.
She goes over a study in that where she wants to see things that are heart-shaped. She wants to see more love in the world. And as soon as she trains her mind to start seeing heart-shaped rocks, heart-shaped clouds, heart-shaped pieces of trash. So once I start putting myself in that mindset of I'm this successful woman who wants to help other women become successful, more and more people become that.
I decided I was going to be the fairy godmother of brand clarity and all the magical things that come with that. But that is really the thing is I now see magic in places people don't even realize it. And you guys, all the clients I've worked with have so much magic. And it's such an honor to walk alongside as that magic is revealed. And it's like contagious. It's so cool. So yes, once you look for the magic, wow, it's like everywhere. Okay, so before we wrap up, I would love for you to tell everybody where they can find you, that beautiful new website you have, talk about where they can find you, learn what you're up to, and more about Rise Transactions.
Yeah, so you can find our beautiful redone website. It is amazing. It is riotstransactions.com. We are also on Facebook and Instagram and soon to be LinkedIn. The next big thing that I'm working on that I see on the horizon is the industry is always changing no matter what market you're in. And even within the United States, one market is a seller's market, one is a buyer's market. And the thing that is consistent between all markets is that there are compliance forms that are required and they change often and they change between brokerage to brokerage. So there could be two agents here in North Carolina and one is for Keller Williams and one is EXP and they have completely different requirements. A good transaction coordinator knows the differences. And now brokerages are fighting over agents. Beverly, if you went and got your license today and you need to go figure out where you're going to hang it up, you're going to go to Coldwell Banker and interview there. You're going to go to Keller Williams and interview there. You're going to go to some boutique ones and interview there. But they're not interviewing you. You're interviewing them. You get to decide where you want to hang your license. They're going to tell you what their commission splits are and if you can ever get 100% of your commission and the different things that they have to offer. But now commissions are going down. So Splits are never going to change, or very little. You're not going to make much more there. But what can brokers offer you to make you want to go there? And that's free transaction coordinator services.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're looking at doing is becoming an in-house transaction coordinator for different brokerages. That way you get hired on at Keller Williams. You don't have to worry about compliance, Beverly. We have these transaction coordinators that are going to send out all your compliance paperwork for you. You just got to make that sale and we'll cover the cost for them. We still take whatever split we had, but you have this added perk of working here with us. I'm looking forward to the potential of that.
I feel like it creates so much value for the brokerage to be able to attract the right people to that, which makes them more successful.
And it's just an added security for them, right? You don't want your brokerage to be doing things out of compliance and then the real estate commission comes down and fines you. At least now you don't have to worry as much about these new young agents because, okay, this girl's making sure you're doing the right thing. And if you're not, she's going to let us know, hey, he's not really getting these things signed the right way or at the right time. So that's where you'll find us next.
I love it. It's so good. Alex, this has been such a fun conversation.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your journey and all the magic that you have with us. I know that our listeners are going to walk away with so many little nuggets of information, feeling inspired and hopefully ready to take action on some of those things. I'm so grateful for your time and for the impact that you're making on the world.
Thank you, Beverly. I really appreciate this time that you gave me.
This has been fun. I hope that today's episode lit a little bit of a fire under you, gave you new ideas, and most of all, inspired you to take the next best step for your business. Even if it's a teeny bitty little one, take it. And because here's the thing, your message matters, your work matters, and the world needs to hear what you have to say. Marketing isn't just about visibility. It's about the impact that you're making. It's about connecting with the right people. Alex talked all about that. Really having those relationships and what feels true to you. So keep showing up, keep sharing your brilliance, and keep making the magic in the world. And hey, if you ever feel stuck, you know you don't have to do this alone. We're here to help you turn that spark into a wildfire. Until next time, keep sparking and keep igniting. Thank you so much for tuning into the Spark and Ignite Your Marketing podcast. I hope you found today's conversation or activation be something clear and actionable that you can take back to your very own business. If you found this helpful, I'd love it if you take a moment to share your thoughts in a review. Not only does this help us see what's working and what you'd like to hear more of, but it also helps other business owners just like you find the sparks that they need. And if you know someone who could use today's tips, why not share this episode with them? A little inspiration can go a long way, and together, we can help more people simplify their marketing and make their business shine.